Good afternoon, everyone. It is August the 10th, 2025. I hope everyone is safe today. We're in another major heat wave, and this is what I'm going to be talking about today and putting up a video on the homeless and the heat wave that we're into right now. And it's going to be a lengthy one, unfortunately, again. It's the effects of climate change, of course. And I just want to give you an idea, since Saturday, was the coolest out of the heat wave days so far. And the heat wave's going right into this, well, that was Saturday yesterday, today is Sunday, and this heat wave's going right through till, I believe, Wednesday. And they mention it's, Montreal is going up to 40 Celsius, that's with the humidity. And they just announced that we're going up to 41 here in Ottawa. And Ottawa and Montreal are only about 100 miles away from each other, being two of the larger cities here in Ontario. And southeastern Ontario is really getting hit right now with the heat wave, as well as eastern Canada is getting hit with the heat waves. Not to mention all the fires that are forest fires that are burning right now as well. We also sometimes have air quality alerts as well. So it's been a really rough summer that we've been facing, all of us, and I can't help but laugh in a sense, because again, our poor Prime Minister has been bothered by not the Democratic politicians in the United States. It's again the Republican senators that are bothering the Prime Minister, telling him to try and keep the smoke over the border between Canada and the United States. Well, we can't even keep the smoke away from across the borders for our different provinces. And I think I mentioned this before, but for me it's kind of a strange situation, because we get the States weather too. When we have the hurricanes come up and the tornadoes come up from the States, we are also affected. So can we not tell the States perhaps that maybe, can you keep your tornadoes too on your side of the border? Because I'm just going to give you a good example of that. And this was when I was a teenager back in 1968, that summer. And a friend of ours had an apartment, and the apartment was, well, back then you had the shop owner had a shop in the front. And then what he did was, a lot of them did, to get a little extra income, they put an apartment in the back. And my friend lived in the apartment in the back. We had just left it that afternoon, and we got down the street maybe 5 minutes, and all of a sudden the wind just whipped up, and it was just whipping up there. We could barely stand, and we just got to the street corner, and on the corner, any of them people who were in my age will remember the old Ogilvy's stores as well. And there was an Ogilvy store on this corner, and it was glass, wall-to-wall glass on both sides, on one street and on the other street. So they met at the corner. So we got that far, and we were being blown around, and we were trying to figure out, well, what do we do? Where do we go? And luckily for us, the shopkeeper across the street saw us in the predicament. He ran out and told us to come get into his store right away, and said we just got tornado warnings. And back then, to get a tornado warning at all would be through the radios. We didn't have cell phones or anything like that at that time, and he didn't have the television, but a lot of us got our information through the radios back in the 60s. And so he got us safely in the shop, and then we went back afterwards, 2 blocks down, back to our friend's apartment, and turned on the light switch, and no lights, no electricity in the apartment. We thought, oh, okay, probably a transformer got blown, no problem. So, but next day, still nothing, and well, that's kind of strange. So we called the shop owner. He came in. He couldn't figure out what was wrong. Everything looked intact from the inside. And then, so he called the electrician. The electrician came in and took a look, and he went around the building, and then he turned around. He went around the outside of the building, and then he came in and told us, well, you better come out and see this. And we came out and saw it all right, because he had popular trees that were growing beside the building, and lightning strike a great big hole between the two poplar trees right into the building. And the electrician said, if you guys had been in the shop or in your apartment at that time, everyone would have been probably electrocuted. So it's amazing that we have the cell phones that we have today. We have the meteorologists today, and to see people cutting back in the States, and you know who's ordering that, on the meteorologists with all the climate change and all the weather patterns that we're getting right now, which are totally crazy on everyone. You know, we're just so lucky that we have our cell phones. And with all what the meteorologists are telling us and that, they can put an alert out. So, you know, you can be walking down the street and all of a sudden everybody's phone's going off with a definite alert of some sort to seek shelter. So, you know, when these politicians are complaining, we could be thankful that we have some technology that at least can give us a heads up when something's coming our way and to seek shelter immediately. And it does save lives. And to cut back on meteorologists and that when we need it during this climate change that we're going through, that's ridiculous. But I'm going to put up the video, and it's on the homeless and what we do for the homeless. And right now it's very, very dangerous for us. Like myself, I've got asthma. So if there's an air quality warning or a heat wave like this, I'm stuck in the apartment underneath my fans, and many of my friends who have the same problem are stuck because we don't want to dehydrate or get ourselves into a serious situation, because high humidity or in the winter extreme cold can set off an asthma attack. So we're kind of stuck in the position, and everybody's complaining about the smoke and that. Well, we can all sit there and complain and mope and cry and pout like children, but it's not going to do any good. We have to face the facts. We have to make sure that we have firefighters in place and equipment in place for them, and obviously that's going to have to be built up, is what I've talked about in an earlier video with a federal fire response, as well as a better federal response, as well as provincial responses nationally across the country, and as well as I believe across the world. I mean, there's other firefighters coming in from other countries, but this is something that I believe is going to have to be stepped up as quickly as possible too, because the quicker we can get those fires out, the better off we're going to be, because all those trees that are burning, that's what builds our houses, number one. And simple biology in school was that trees take in the carbon dioxide and they give us the oxygen to breathe. So we're boiling right now, and it's getting worse and worse. And so the quicker we can do things, the better. So, I mean, we could complain too to the United States. Hey, keep your weather on your side of the border. You know, the snow's coming up because of the Gulf Coast is bringing in all kinds of weather, and it shoots up across our border too. So it's a two-way road here, so across our border. So people are not thinking of just what they're doing, and you can't blame someone for something that's beyond everyone's control. Literally, and the weather is. Nobody can control the weather, although they say that people are trying to control the weather by being able to produce rain, and they drop stuff in the atmosphere. I don't know how much that is true, but right now it's a matter of we all need to work together. We all need to stick together, not keep blaming each other for our problems. It's all of our problems. It's not just one person or one country's problem. It's all of our country's problems. We all have to deal with this. So that's the reality that has to be faced for all of us. So I'm going to leave it there today for everyone. So take care, watch your surroundings, and be safe. And definitely be safe. Be hydrated. And I know, at least with the homeless, I know they're doing the best they can, but it is extremely dangerous. A lot of them still don't want to go into the outreach programs, and the outreach programs are trying to go around with the vans with extra water and that. And the other thing that they've done is they've got these things that they can attach to our fire hydrants for the homeless, so that they can get water as well, and can be easily taken off in case of a fire as well. So I know we're trying, but there's a lot of work to be done soon, and we just don't want people dying, because if they're addicted and they just crash on the grass, like you can walk down the street and they're crashed on the grass, and I'm watching to make sure that their chest is still going up and down, for sure, that they're still breathing. So everyone, take care. I'm going to leave it there, but be safe, and we'll talk again soon. And bye-bye.